Hi, it's T with TeaQuilts, and I just want to come first and wish you all a Happy New Year. I had intended to do something for New Year's Day because it is a Sunday, and then I had a request from one of my viewers, and I can't remember the name, asking me for updates on my projects that I showed you in previous videos throughout the year. So what I thought I would do would be a year in review of my 2016. And that will include some classes, workshops, projects that I started and finished, some works in progress that I quilted since I now have the long arm machine, and some things that I started that were my favorite projects. Everything is not really listed in this video because I do a lot of projects, especially with my scrap quilting club that meets once a month. So we typically have new project every month, and then I have my various challenges from my quilt guilds that I'm a member of. And I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? Well, as far as quilting, that's probably it. And just trying to think. And then I also do line dancing. I also do card making, and I did include a few of my cards in this video just to give you an idea of something else that I do as well. It's not that many. Most of the things in here are quilt related. But I am going to try to narrate a slideshow to at least give you the names of the projects that you're going to see. And if I can't, if you got anything you want to know specifically, just give me the time that that particular quilt is shown in the video, and I'll try to go back and give you the information if I can. I have a lot of projects here. I actually was looking at my works in progress list, and I did complete 36 projects this year. I still have a very large works in progress list. It's over 150 things that need to be completed, and I'm okay with that. But I just wanted to give you a little tip of what's going on here, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to the computer. I'm going to try to record a voice narration to the slideshow, and I hope it works. I hope you liked the video. It took me quite a long time to go through taking pictures of everything that I have and then trying to corral them all into one spot to do this slideshow. So it took me a while to do it. It is about a 10 to 11 minute slideshow of just the projects, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, go ahead and give me that thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in my next video, which hopefully will be tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and bye. So we're going to start with lectures and workshops. I started the year out teaching the Stack and Whack class to my quilt guild. And then I also taught Half Hexies Your Way to the Missouri State Quilting Guild retreat, and then I went to Central Illinois to the Hands All Around Quilt Guild, and I did a lecture and then presented the Exploding Star workshop, which is this quilt here. And then you've got some participants projects, and I like to show them for the difference in color. And then also we did sweatshirt jackets as well, so I'm showing a few of those just to show you the different colorations and plans that people made. Then I went to the Thimble and Thread Quilt Guild in Webster, Missouri, and I taught this Scrappy 3D Stars class, and here are some pictures of those projects as well to show you the difference in scraps used. I went to the Wood River, Illinois Quilt Guild and taught the Pineapple 9-patch quilt. In this next photo, the far back red quilt is the 9-patch quilt, and then here is one of the block units here. The next is long arm quilting practice. As you know, I purchased a long arm in January of this year. I quilted 2 quilts right off the bat. I quilted this quilt here, which is T's Mystery Quilt, and then I quilted the Jelly Roll Jam quilt. And then I did a practice on muslin, which I didn't get a chance to upload during the year, so I am showing you all of the practice blocks that I made. I used the polyester bat that was provided by my by Gamma when I purchased it. So I have quite a few of these. And I'll just go ahead and start talking about the next category that's coming up is the challenges. And I was challenged by my small quilt guild to make a modern quilt, and the quilt had to have only 2 fabrics, which was really a challenge for me because I don't really make 2 fabric quilts. But I did make this little quilt that's coming up, and it's called Modern Hexies, and I used white and green, lime green fabric. And I thought it came out really cute. I ended up winning first place in that category. And then I also had my larger quilt guild where we had to have a quilt that was hexagons. It could be any style of your choice. So I kind of made my challenge twofold. And so I also used that same quilt in my larger quilt guild challenge. And I won first place in long arm machine quilting in that. So the quilt won 2 ribbons. And I'm just waiting now for the video to catch up. All of this practice really made it so easy for me to get ready to quilt my challenge quilt, and that was one of the reasons why I practiced, so that I could quilt the challenge quilt. And I'm going to show you a couple of up close shots at all of the different quilting that I did. The next quilt I also used for that same hexagon challenge, and it won 2nd place in machine quilting. So I actually got 1st and 2nd place in long arm machine quilting. So I was really proud of that. Next up is charity quilts. I did some kennel quilts, and I also was able to practice some machine quilting because they don't have to be anything in particular. So I just practiced some free motion feathers, and I'm going to show you the fronts and then the back. I made 2 lap quilts that I gave out to my quilting guilds. One is a disappearing 9 patch. And then the other one is just a piece of plaid fabric that was already set in the Trip Around the World setting. So I just added a border and quilted it. And then this next one was a quilt I did for Pulse, the nightclub in Orlando, through my TeaQuilts Facebook group. This is a block that I organized and quilt that I organized for our outgoing president. And this is the finished quilt. I did the quilting. Some projects I started and completed in the year. I'm starting with some greeting cards just because I want to show I do other things as well as quilting, and I'm not going to show you too many. And I also did some rag reefs where I just tore some fabrics that were pretty ugly, and they turned out really pretty. I did a lot of pillows and pillowcases for a young lady who lost both her mom and her dad within a 2-year span, and so I did some memory items for her. That's her daughter. And that's the mom. And that's the young lady when she was a child. And that's also a headband that I just threw in for the baby. I was donated this disappearing 9 patch, so I quilted it. And I use it in my lectures. And this is the rail fence quilt that I started. Here is half of it, and the next photo will show you where most of it is open. This is the Gypsy Wife quilt that I started, but I call mine Gypsy Conversion. This is the top unquilted, and then I'm showing you the top that's completely quilted, and then I'm going to show you a few close-up shots. I actually custom quilted this quilt. It was a real challenge, and I'm glad that I did that because it really helped me learn a lot about machine quilting. I also purchased a featherweight this year. Came in this original case, and so then I made a case cover. So this is the front of the case cover, and then I'm going to show you the back. And then I also made a cover for the sewing machine, and I'll show you the back the front, the back, and then the side view. And then I'm showing you the next shot of it all zipped up with the handle hanging out the top, and then with the lid open, showing you that I don't have to take the cover case off to get the machine out. I meet monthly with my scrap quilting club, and this is our year-long project. That's how I started. It was a Judy Martin pattern called Double Wedding Ring. It was a challenge. My works in progress that I quilted from previous years is this autumn braid, and I just added some strip sets in between and did some custom quilting. This is Asian influence. This is just a bowling quilt that I made for my husband, and a close-up shot of the actual quilting. I used a bowling panto as well. This is modified bento box in batiks, and then a close-up of the quilting. It's just freehand double loops. And then I did the scrappy version of the modified bento with sashing in between, and I used the that's free motion swirls. This is a quilt I call Noodles. It's in my pattern book. Another pattern I have is called Bubbles, and another pattern I have called Modern Braids. This is called Stacks. It was free on the internet at some point. And then just a close-up of the machine quilting. It was a panto. This quilt I called Treasure Hunt, and this is X block quilt here called Ribbon, and then that's a close-up of it. And then I also have another X block. I'm not sure of the name of it, and this is I call Animal Kingdom. It's a stack and whack project. It's a Streak of Lightning, and then a close-up of the quilting as well. It's a panto quilted. This is Felicity. It's a pattern that's free online. You'll have to search for that from a fabric manufacturer. This is Trifle Dish, which is on modabakeshop.com, and I'll show you an update of the quilting. This is Exploding Stars, a pattern I sell. Another version of the Exploding Star pattern I sell. My favorite projects that I worked on in 2006 was the Christmas flag quilt, which came out of Quilter's Newsletter or Quilt Maker magazine, and I worked on those 2 rows this year. I also made a Mizzou Tigers quilt for someone. I got the top ready, and this is Twice as Nice from the Fons and Porter site. I started a Scraps Galore project by Victoriana Quilt Designs with my Facebook group, and I do have the top completed, but it's not quilted. This is the Motor Sampler quilt. I did that, and I'm just showing you a close-up of my flying geese that I made scrappy. And then my highlight of the year was I took a trip to Missouri Star Quilt Company. I did a whole video series on that. I went with my friends Sue and Drew. You can look through my videos and find those. I had a lot of fun. Actually got to meet Jenny, and then I also got to step on her star of fame. They had temporary stars that they put out for their birthday bash, and I purchased the charms from each of the stores. And long arm quilting as a business, I really didn't get into it for that, but I did do 2 quilts for a lady that needed them by Christmas, and I hope to do more of that next year.